Hello guys, ZedTV here. Welcome back to another video. So today, I've just recently got my graphics coursework back. So I'm in year 12 right now, and just recently I've gotten all my GCSE certificates, all my coursework across all my subjects, and everything returned. And I thought I'd make a video based on what I did for GCSE graphics. Um, I know that some students are probably looking at watching this video to like sort of see what they're doing, see what they need to do for their coursework. But graphics, art, photography, all these creative subjects are so diverse. So this is not like a set structure. You have to do these things in order to get a grade. Um, of course, the spec can be a bit confusing. I went through all the specs for GCSE, highlighting the bits and all of that stuff, analysing them. And for the art related ones, they're the most confusing because I just don't know what to expect. And I sympathise with you guys, so definitely do talk to your teacher if you do get confused on your coursework. So with me, graphics in particular has been a really weird subject. So throughout my course in my school, I did 3 sketchbooks, which I'm going to show all through this video. 2 which was coursework, and 1 was preparing for the exam. Because I was in the 2020 year, exams were cancelled, and that book was finished sort of a bit early, so that book's not complete. And graphics has just been a really weird subject because I had this one teacher who I started off with who left in like year 10, and the whole of year 10 I practically did no work due to lack of guidance and any sort of interference with a teacher. It was in year 11 once we got a teacher, and personally it wasn't really the best teacher. I, again, even though it was a graphics teacher, I did have a lack of guidance from him, and I'm not going to blame him, but I did get that grade 5 in the end, which was in fact my worst grade. I'm not saying that a grade 5 is bad, but it was, from my set of results, it was my worst grade. And I thought on results there, I thought I should have got a bit better. So I mean, I was given a grade 5. I thought I should have got maybe a 6 or a 7, but that's up to you guys. I'll show you the content of my books now. Because it was teacher predictions, I mean, it doesn't help that he's our head of sixth form now. But again, no blaming teachers. He's a great head of sixth form, and GCSEs for me is over and done with, so we just move on. Again, our whole class with graphics, I mean, I heard loads of people failed. We did have about 30 people taking graphics, and the majority of us did actually fail. But with me, because I had no coursework done, as in we did get it done, but as in you had bits lost, and again, lack of guidance, and people treated the lessons as a free period. I spent the whole of my Christmas period, my Christmas holiday, just doing graphics work. Like, this table in front of me was full of art stuff. My bed was full of all sketchbooks and messy analysis and all of those things. And it was a busy period. Like, all my whole Christmas holiday, didn't go out at all. 100% focus on sketchbooks, and yeah, no revision for any other subject. It was just graphics, and the majority of my sketchbooks, which I'm about to show you now, it was all done in a Christmas holiday period. I mean, I don't celebrate Christmas, so yeah. So here's my 3 books. I've just covered up my centre and my candidate numbers, so for obvious reasons. This is my book 1 of the coursework, book 2 of the coursework, and that's my exam book. I'm going to go through each one at a time. I did get a grade 5 in the end, which I'm really grateful for because it equates to a good pass. But obviously I can't change anything about that now, but let's get started. Here's book 1, let's get started. These books as well, our school basically gave them to us for a fee, and I just paid for these 3 books, and then I brought an additional massive art set from them, which I got for a decent price. Yep, so the first topic, you see, this brings back so many memories. Our first topic was landmarks and architecture, starting off with a mini map, mind map, artist research, I won't really go in detail. If there's any particular part you want to see, just feel free to zoom in. I'm just going to briefly go over everything. Just the key bit was to analyse every single bit you saw, every single bit of artwork. This is point perspective. Bit of logo work. As you can see, there's so much writing. I was told like the specs didn't really make sense to me, so I used a lot of YouTube videos from other YouTubers who did art or graphics for GCSE, and they told me that no matter how, like, the main message was, no matter how good your art is, it could be as bad as you want. All the marks was in their essay, not the essay, the analysis and the evaluation and the description. I'm not going to go through that book because it's just really messy, that architecture. Actually, this, as you can see, my target was like a low grade 8 or a high grade 7, but I ended up getting like a 5 here, basically what I got in end of year 9. But yeah, ignoring that, this was architecture in general. Analysis in here. Inspiration. It's just you have to research so many other artists who have done similar things. Evaluate every single piece you see. Because I heard the marks was in that, and I do sort of have this suspicion that my graphics teacher didn't read any of it, but because I did so much compared to the other students in my class, but I'm really not sure. And games design as well. Games design was definitely the most popular in our class. Aguero, favourite player of all the time. More art stuff. And that's that. Yeah, so as I've said, please do watch some other YouTubers as well. Like, I mean, mine's not the best sketchbook, but I did what I could. As much writing as I could, as much. This is animation now. So this is the sets we use. We used a camera, loads of shots, and then Windows Movie Maker to make a little animation. All the parts we use. Yeah, here's all the photos we took for that. And then I changed my focus to London. This was my final piece in one of my mocks. London, a little postcard, evaluating it, taking inspiration. And that's that book done. And then all the way to the back, I just had a little bit of space for like advice and feedback and what's right. So now moving to book 2 of my coursework. Let's go ahead with that. Some beginning. So this basically, in my opinion, slightly improves because again, I would have learned from my first bit of coursework that this is what I now know what my strengths and my weaknesses are. Just sort of messing about, trying to get some ideas down for the topic of in the news. Artist research, drawing tests. So every little bit you stick and fold, make sure you write open somewhere so that, I mean, these sketchbooks, if we were going the usual way, they would have been sent to an external examiner and they would have marked it. But because everything was cancelled, just teacher predictions. It's my final piece for one of my mocks. I'm not really happy with this one. I didn't really like this one. I was given a 4+, I think. Yeah, I was given a 4+ for this work. High grade 4. More analysis. I remember my graphics teacher saying the main reason I got a 5, where I should have technically gotten something higher, was my use of a pencil. But then I was like, people have different forms of art. Maybe this was my way, and you could just see by how much I wrote, how much thought actually went into it. And again, looking back, it's annoying, but what can you do? Can't do much. Here's more typography now. Typography. I love this section. I love typography. Not my favourite though. I think my favourite might be logo. Probably logo. Then I switched my focus to knife crime. One of my final pieces, which I'm not the best at Photoshop, but this was on Photoshop. Yeah. And then a massive bit of evaluation. Knife crime. And then I mentioned my YouTube channel here. Back then, when little me had 150 subscribers. About to reach 1k now, thanks guys. So this is one of my final, not a final piece, but like, it was one of my official mocks. And I just did a night before, what am I going to do, preparing for it. And then did a practice analysis. And then in the actual one, what was that? I might have done that in the actual mock actually, can't remember. Oh yeah, so I went from this, from this to this, to this, and then I added more words onto it. It's just showing the progression basically. And as I go, I made more comments about what I'm happy with, what I'm not. This is my final piece, which I did in the mock. You see, looking back at this is my favourite piece I've done so far, but I don't like all the words I've written here. Just, you can see the two hills, and the focus was on Australian fires, and London in the background. Oh, to be honest, I can't remember what I was doing, but London's falling. Yeah, I personally would have preferred it without these words, but yeah, this, I can find it. This one, if I left it like that, I'd have been so happy. I just think the paint down here, these words just a bit takes it out of a bit too much, if that makes sense. I think I wrote that in my evaluation analysis. Make sure everything you don't like, everything you like about it, make sure you comment on everything. My final book and exam, the exam booklet. So we're given a 2020 case study where we had to pick an option. I think I wrote about these. Yeah, so this was part of the 2020 paper, and we had all these options, and we had to narrow down to one. And then I picked crowds and moments in time. Those were the two titles, and I had to pick one of them. And here's my initial sort of brainstorm of which one I'd want to do. And what did I pick at the end? Yeah, I can't remember. I picked one of them, but just, you know, as I go. This is probably my best piece so far, because it was in year 11 when everything was so serious. I'd started taking everything seriously. Artist copies in the style of, and everything. Open up ideas. Just more. I hope you can imagine the amount of time and effort and thinking that went into this, and that took so long. I did use a light box and tracing, but it took me so long. I remember and trying to copy the style of that, and then more focus on Bestival, which has been cancelled for the past 2 years now because of COVID. Yeah, it just brings out so many memories. It was really chill in the classroom. It would never be like a serious environment, but yeah, I mean, it got me the worst grade, so I don't know how I feel about that. I know some people absolutely love their graphics and art. Yeah, I learned that it's not the subject for me. Some more small work. It can get boring at the times. And then this is my most recent mock. So I had my focus on sort of crowds and making a poster. So I'm basing it on so this is my mock piece, which is here. That's the analysis for it. If you want to see a video on how to analyse and things, I'm not the best person for this because I got a grade 5 in it, but there are loads of YouTubers who talk how to get those top grades. This was my final piece of my last ever, on the last day of year 11, I remember. Such a sad time. And I just did whatever I could to get the best grade I can, but it didn't work. That's all my graphics books, guys. You've just seen 3 of them, and I'm so grateful I didn't pick art or anything for my A-levels, because when I was initially interested in architecture, I was just hearing art A-level everywhere, and that's the reason why I picked graphics for GCSE. It's one of my options, because I wanted to go through the architecture route. If I was still going on the architecture route, I would have most likely picked art A-level, and I'm so happy I didn't. I'm so happy I've gone for the science sort of route instead. So that was my GCSE graphics books, guys. Hope you enjoyed, I guess. I know it's not the best. I'm not the best at art or anything, but what can you do? It's happened. Yeah. Okay, that's it for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one, I guess.